Yeah, I feel like that's enough.
Yeah. Dreams. Hello, and welcome to the Final Cut, Half Cut, with me, Jason Winter, and Nick.
If that blows out the speakers, I'll edit it out.
I know, yeah. That was Dreams by Dreams, yeah, by the Everly Brothers, because it's the Final Cut, Half Cut, Dream Edition with movies about dreams and that.
Yeah.
Not like fucking Richie Rich. I mean like The Matrix, Inception, the concept of the dream film.
I hate to put a damper on your parade right now, but if I could just think. 3 hours ago, I recently learned that Diego Maradona has unfortunately passed away.
No.
A man who had so much, he gave so much to the world, and he'll be missed not only by football but by drug dealers throughout South America.
Yeah.
And I'd like everyone to remember not just the football or the controversies.
The hand of dog, yeah. Hand of God.
Or the controversies.
Not the hand of dog, that's not a thing. It is now.
The incredible amount of cocaine.
Yeah. Legend.
But we've lost a man who, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have Messi. Wouldn't have Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Wouldn't have anyone.
Wouldn't have Ronaldinho.
Rest in peace to Diego.
Well, cheers to that. R.I.P. mate. That's a real shame. Actually, in the news this week of both entertainment and football, Nick, I've got a very smooth corporate segue.
I was expecting a moment of silence.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So, with the passing of Diego Maradona, I was reading an article earlier about football, right, and entertainment, and how this is going to lead into the new era of entertainment. Obviously, we've already covered with the COVID bullshit, like, cinema's going to be a thing, and how we're going to see films going forward and that.
How am I going to watch Cats and Dogs 4 or 3, whatever the fuck it was?
Exactly, yeah. So Ryan Reynolds and Mac from Always Sunny,
Rob McElderry.
That's it, yeah. Have bought Wrexham Football Club, the third oldest football club in the world. Did you know? Done my research. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Guardian. The Guardian quoted that, Nick. Don't hate me. Hate the Guardian. He already does the incel.
What a terrible start to the fucking sport.
But no, the point is that so I was reading this article, and obviously I've professed my love for The Last Dance and stuff before. Seen on most streaming platforms, there are some big sports documentaries, but they're kind of standalone ones. Whereas this, I was reading earlier, they've already started filming the documentary of the behind the scenes of Ryan Reynolds and that buying the football club in order for that to be the lead in to this documentary. And it sort of posits like, what would it be like if the Premier League or lower league teams turned it into a bit of a reality TV show alongside the football? What do you think, as a film fan and as a football fan and as someone that I assume probably, I think we've bonded over not watching reality. If you were coming in right now going, oh my God, did you hear I found out the Bake Off winner before I could watch it last night, or did you see what happened on I'm a Celebrity? Like, we haven't really bonded. Are you a big reality TV bloke, or
I'm not? No.
Are you a regular viewer?
I'm not a regular at the bar.
I don't like it. I've got to admit, as Britain, like with Big Brother, X Factor, we're big on reality TV. Do you know what I mean? So I think I can.
Well, I think that's more just like a fucking global thing, like a world knows something.
Yeah, but would you watch it? Would you watch a Wrexham Ryan Reynolds reality TV show?
Yes, it really depends on what happens throughout the season. Because have you watched any of the football documentaries?
Well, I watched The Last Dance. I started watching the Manchester City one on Amazon, but then I couldn't be bothered with it.
Well, yeah, my problem with it is I
think it's too staged.
Yeah, that's my problem, because there's a big problem with sport washing.
Yeah.
Because Man City are owned by fucking people
Qatari.
People who execute gay people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
they're billionaire sheikhs and shit. Yeah.
And they just use it to be like, see, we're good, we're nice. On top of that, I don't like watching winners.
Right.
Because, what do you think is going to happen? Does it still go well? Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch a bunch of watch a bunch of people succeed.
Yeah.
That's why the best.
So I quite like the stories about success, but I think we're different.
City.
No. I like the passion and drive. Like if they did a Jurgen Klopp documentary, found out he has a hair transplant the other day. Do you know Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah. So did Antonio Conte.
Yeah,
a whole bunch, and Wayne Rooney.
If you lost your hair,
which I am,
and could afford to get it replaced, would you
do?
Yeah,
I intend doing that in the next few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get like my entire face covered.
Please get an afro.
Yeah, I don't think I can choose how it grows. It will just grow. I want to get my
No,
entire
you
face
can.
covered.
Yeah, you can have it grafted in. Well, I mean, no, I wouldn't recommend it. But I'm jokingly egging you on to do it.
Well,
I once bought an afro comb when I was 14 and thought that by buying an afro comb, I would suddenly be able to create an afro.
That's how it works. Your brain knows what comb you're using.
That was before cultural appropriation was big in the media. Like, I was an innocent child. Please don't hate me, internet.
The only one of those I've actually watched and enjoyed is the Sunderland Till I Die.
Yes. Because, the one with
I hate Sunderland with burning passion.
Right.
And I love watching them fail.
Right.
It's just watching that
team.
It's
quite nice, like seeing the support, Gary Neville and Paul Scholes and that buying it up.
That's Salford, not Sunderland.
Oh right, sorry, I got the wrong
Salford.
one. I have seen
Salford
the
is
football documentary.
Salford is non-league. Sunderland got relegated from the Premiership.
Right.
A bunch of They had like, we'll make a documentary about us getting promoted. They finished bottom of the league.
Oh man.
They got relegated to League One. They went, well, we're going to get promoted this season. They didn't get promoted the next season. And then they went, all right, let's not do any more documentaries because we're fucking awful. I hate Sunderland with burning passion.
Poor old Sunderland.
Fuck Adam Johnson.
Sunderland? That's my Sunderland impression there. Can you do a Sunderland impression?
I don't know what Sunderland impression is.
Sunderland?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
It's near Newcastle, I know that.
Yeah. It's just south of Newcastle.
Yeah, because it's the
Sunderland.
It's the Tyne Derby, isn't it?
That's it, mate. Okay, that's what I've seen in the news lately in my sort of pontification about reality TV football films. Very good. Other news this week, not big week in news for films really.
Well, the last 8 months haven't been any big. There's been no big news other than we're not doing this one. Also,
this is
next
postponed.
Week, yeah, we're not doing this one either.
Okay. So announcements this week that I did find notable. Obviously, Mandalorian's back on Disney Plus. I've been watching a bit of that, but I like to sort of wait. I'm going to wait now until Christmas because we watched the first 2, and then I realised, I want to binge watch this, so I'm going to wait.
Oh yeah, that's smart. That's smart because you watched The Boys, didn't you? You watched a few episodes.
I've watched some of The Boys. I just found I found one of the episodes particularly gory.
Was it the very first bit where like the woman gets fucking decimated by?
The running guy. Yeah.
Well, when the first season they released it like all at once.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
And then the second season we're doing it every week, and then no one's talking about it. I feel like with certain things you're going like.
I will go back to The Boys because I liked it in general. It just freaked me out for a moment. So things that are relevant today. For today's podcast with the dream, the concept of the Dream movie is announcement by Stranger Things that Stranger Things 4 will feature Robert
Jason,
Englund.
What are you doing? You're letting them know this isn't all improv.
Oh, I know, yeah.
I've
actually done my research.
Thinking this is just fucking,
flipping
from the hip.
Yeah.
As opposed to incredibly scripted. I've got the script in front of me.
Yeah.
This is actually in the
I've told you can't say that word.
Yeah, I will say it. It's a slur for Italian people.
Yeah, no, don't say it.
I'm gonna say it at some point.
So okay, so Robert Englund is apparently playing, interestingly, a psychiatric patient in Stranger Things. So I think that's really cool.
Season 4.
Yeah, so it's meta Nightmare on Elm Street, which I've only just rewatched. Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. A, because I wanted to get more into horror films. Nick completely smashes me on the horror film, and also because
more than one film, more than one genre. Am I right?
Yeah. But also because I just want to get into it a bit more, and for the purposes.
Yeah, that is a bit of that sort of
Dream Warriors.
That genre, like that 80s horror, that is a bit of a blind spot for you.
Yeah. But so just quickly, just before we get into it, also partly to do with the Dream film idea is this mysterious monolith in the desert in Utah. This week it's been in the news.
What do you call it?
A monolith.
Okay, I thought you said monomyth.
No, monolithic structure. Big old bit of metal, like out of 2001, and everyone was freaking out about it. Turns out it's some Christian band's prop from their music video. So we're gonna,
which I found out,
which Nick found out. Nick is the
Top
super
scoop.
sleuth of the interwebs, and we will put the link in the bio so that you can exclusively know who's actually behind that viral image. Because
I'm probably not going to do that. I don't want to give Christian rock bands any promotion.
yeah, no, oh come on, it's just if
called
anything,
Kane,
we're letting us promote that. We're letting them promote us
but
through their.
But they haven't got a link to us in their video.
What? Yeah, but I've said it now, so I'm
they're
going to say
called-
we will do
they're
it. I will
called
go back
Kane.
and edit it and do it, and Nick won't be
They're
there when I do
called
that.
Kane.
What does
You
that
can
mean?
Find it. Like, see Abel and Cain? Cain and Abel?
Cain and Abel. What's that? It's a
Biblical.
yeah,
Cain
we
killed
could-
Abel.
Oh yeah, I don't know. We could look it up, but we're not going
I know
to.
what Cain and Abel is.
I don't know what it is.
So Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel.
Oh yeah.
Cain killed Abel. I don't know why they're named
Why?
after the one
Why are
who
they
killed
so
him.
jealous of each other?
So God was like, "Yo, give me some offerings and shit."
Right.
Cain was like, "Oh, I've got some weak shit here."
Yeah.
And then God was like, "Oh, that's fit decent." But Abel.
Go with it, mate. Whatever.
Abel Hernandez.
Yeah.
Was like, "Look at all this dope shit I've got," and then God was like, "That's my boy." So in jealousy, Cain killed Abel, and then God was so angry, not because he killed him, but because Cain lied to him about it.
Right.
That it was like, "You can fuck off," and that's Cain and Abel. I don't know why they're named after Cain.
It's all a bit. That's a bit of a. That's a mystery. That one.
Mm.
Leave that to the authors of the Bible, aka
for the Bible.
God. Yeah. All right. Only other thing recently in news, mate. I mean that we've done the news, but I mean, what have you been watching over the last week or so? This current.
Do you mean other than the stuff you told me to watch?
I mean, you haven't got a good track record on that anyway, mate. But I mean.
Yeah, that is true.
Nick, can we do the Flashpoint Paradox series thing? Yeah, it didn't months later. No.
I don't like. Listen, you and your
It's fine.
fucking
It's
anime.
fine.
Bullshit,
I know.
ain't
You're the
right.
one. Okay. I like animation. Moving on to anime and animation is integral to our dreams. So have you got anything like? Because we both have seen the Queen's Gambit.
Yes, Queen's Gambit.
Beautiful,
which,
beautifully done, isn't it?
I watched that the day it came out.
Yeah, same.
Because I'm madly in love with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Right, that's her name, yeah. Because I just thought it was, particularly for me, I don't do well if I'm inebriated watching the series with a lot of like detail. Right, I've got to be really into it to be like.
Did you start playing chess like right after you finished it?
No, but I have downloaded the chess app.
Chess, like,
if you want to play chess, I will take you, mate. I will. Let's do this. I will also. If you're into chess a bit now, there is a brilliant chess documentary on Netflix. It's called Someone versus the World. It's about this amazing chess player.
Bobby Fish?
Yeah. It's is it Bobby Fischer versus the World?
Could be Bobby Fish, because I know Bobby Fish is like a big chess guy.
Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, Bobby Fischer against the world. If you like trust so basically the stuff that it poses in the Queen's Gambit about the whole Cold War rivalry happened in real life and went down, but this guy was a fucking genius, and it's like I want to rewatch it right now when I think about it. I was watching
he disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, and there's all this. He's crazy. I can't remember that very well because I watched that 7 years ago. But that was really interesting. Queen's Gambit was really good. Obviously beautiful, sort of long, silent sequences with very sparse dialogue. The only thing I will say though, what do you think about at the end when it's like all of her boyfriends helping her out win the fucking chess match? And I'm like, you shagged all 3 of these guys. Why are they cool with each other? I'm like. I get that you all love chess.
I mean, well, Sharon Sleeps was one of them.
Nah, she banged all of them.
Well, one of them was gay.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to stop getting.
Yeah, the journalist was gay because she walked in and his boyfriend was there.
I might have missed a few details, to be honest with you.
The cowboy she never slept with.
He's the little wanker from Love Actually. It took me 2 episodes to find out who he was.
I know him from the Maze Runner.
And I went, is that the little one from Malcolm in the Middle? I'm like, nah, ain't him, he ain't got the ears. And then I was like, hang on a minute. Who is this guy? Like, I didn't like his character very much.
Because he's a cowboy.
And
I want to be a cowboy.
He doesn't look hard.
Well, I think that is the point. I feel like
he's like a cowboy nerd.
No, in this world, he's like the coolest dude ever.
Yeah.
But in the real world, he's a fucking dweeb.
He's a loser, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the point.
You know, he'd be in like full length leather hanging out at Castle Park with like 14-year-old birds when he was like.
Yeah. This guy definitely. If this guy was born like in the 80s, this guy would have.
By the way, that's a very local reference to where we live in Essex.
Well, no one needs to live in Essex.
Oh shit!
If this guy
Essex,
was born
Virginia,
in the 80s,
Atlanta.
If this guy was born in the 80s, he would have fucking loved the Matrix.
Yeah.
He would have fucking loved the Matrix.
Good segue.
I'm still not done with Queen's Gambit. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, no, it was very good.
That is the best thing I've watched this year.
Yeah. Alright, before we get into...
What's the best thing you've watched this year?
Well, that's what I wanted to discuss. So, I was thinking earlier with my brain, my big old brain, just sat there all big and round. And I was thinking, like, basically, what is your film of the year, Nick? I mean, you're a massive cineophile, and you love to dive deeply into the rich ocean of cinema. And I just wondered, I know what my film of the year is, and I've got a good argument for it. I was reading a lot of stuff. As you know, I'm quite political, so that's going to come into it.
Yes.
What's your film of the year and why?
Well, you're asking me this because you know for a fact that I've told you about how little films from this year I've watched.
Yeah, you've watched fuck all.
I've watched 3 films from this year, and I've been watching a lot of films.
And one of them, SpongeBob SquarePants.
The third best film I've watched this year is SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah. So, do you want me to do my proper best film of the year thing now, or do you want to?
I'll say my best film because
I think
I watched
you should.
The Five Bloods.
Yeah. Which I think that should be your nomination, but it's not, is it?
But I also watched a film called Horse Girl. It's on Netflix.
Right.
It's actually a very good film despite the name.
Right.
I'm not going to explain what it is, but I watched a film called Horse Girl, and that is my film of the year.
Horse
What
Girls.
is your film of the year?
Just can I say quickly as an aside, Horse Girls, from my experience in school and that, with the rosettes and stuff, like, can I just say to all you horse girls out there, a big fuck you to all of you, because you're all weird. And don't really care. I'm here to be controversial and offensive, and horse girls annoy me, and where we live, in Massachusetts...
Nevada.
Nevada. Do you remember the guy on that police chase thing that would always say, Moscow, but like really late night, 1 in the morning on Channel 5, police chase videos.
I haven't watched normal TV.
Oh, that's quite out there.
When I was young.
Alright, fair enough, mate. Less we hear about that.
I was playing Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, sweet.
Again.
Alright, so my film of the year, and I wanted to call it mainly because of the Best Supporting Actress nominations I think she's going to get. I think the film of the year, I would say in general, in terms of who we are when we're doing this podcast, I'd say I've looked up more of the news. I'm more industry interested than you are.
Well, yeah,
You're
because
more about,
you
I'm about the business. Do you know what I mean?
It's not that. It's like
showbiz, baby.
I don't want to say mainstream because that makes sense.
You can mug me off as much as you want, mate.
You like films that like.
I like the pop culture sort of part of it.
I like films that are like fucking weird.
Yeah.
And, like no one watches.
Yeah.
My favourite films are awful, and that's why I like them. You like films that are actually like good.
Yeah, but also it's like how IMDb has the #1 film is Shawshank Redemption. Is that there was a thing I saw on the forum the other day? Is that actually a smart film, or is that just people's go-to favourite film?
That is a film that is aimed at it's like lowest common denominator.
Yeah, but it's not rubbish film. Like
I know it's a really good film,
doing football reality TV. Like
no, it's a really good film, but it's
the
like,
Kardashians with fucking West Ham.
It's a film
hamming it up.
It's a film design.
That's the working title I've got to pitch to a fucking documentary.
It's very good. It's very good. But that's a film designed to make everyone like it.
Alright, so I'll get down to it. I think my film of the year is Borat, the Borat sequel. Not to get too much into Borat, but basically, like, I think I'm going to call it now, because of the times we live in, the political times we live in, with the Donald Trump era, fake news, the post-truth era, if you like. The argument has been within comedy about like the ability to write satire, so like South Park didn't talk about Trump for an entire season because they said, well, Trump's satirizing himself, so why the fuck do we need to cover him? Like, he's putting Kafefi out at 3 o'clock in the morning on Twitter, like, he's doing it himself, like, he's mugging himself off, and it's apparent it's plain for all to see, and that's why I don't. But this Borat film really, for me, was like the absolute, like, hit the nail on the head, like with where we're at, how, like, as a reflection of how crazy society has got and how acceptable some of these behaviours and these odious men. I mean, the all the stuff about Rudy Giuliani and his literal meltdown in the media now is really quite interesting. But obviously the breakout star is Maria Bakalova, and she's an unknown Eastern European actress, and I think she could win Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globes, something like that, maybe even the Oscars. So I'm calling that now as a satire in a world so devoid of anything fun really this year. I think they fucking smashed it, and I'm gonna.
It's kind of it says a lot about films of this year, where like Borat 2, yeah, that could be the best film this year.
Yeah.
Whereas like this has been a really fucking weak year for films.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't undermine it. I mean.
Oh no, I'm saying like the best, like the biggest film this year has probably been Tenet, and even then I don't think that was I think the world agrees that was an okay film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is a year where like a B film could be the best film of the year.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you, but go and watch it. Let me know what you think.
I'll watch it. I'll see what I'm very busy.
So apart from that, lately I watched Akira, because we said we were gonna do a whole Akira podcast, but we're not, because I realised I don't really have, that's really
Canada!
good. That's a really good impression, actually.
It's actually very racist and very good at that.
It is. Yes, it is. But it's still actually.
Yeah,
having watched it 2 nights ago, you have got it bang on. Yeah, it's really bang on.
Canada.
And there's only so many times.
10 minutes of that.
Yeah, just do that 10 minutes. Oh, beautiful. I love it.
The problem is, you said, "Oh, we talk sometimes in the real world out of this."
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, we should do something like this." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet." And then we both watched it and went like, "What would you want to talk about?"
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't really know.
There's nothing to really talk. It's just
really good.
It's like this. There's some films that are like so solidly 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Where you're like, what do you want to talk about? No, I think it's very pretty.
Yeah. I mean, cyberpunk, it explores the idea. I mean, it is this kind of. It did birth basically an entire industry. Like, without Akira, you wouldn't have a lot of the anime world. And most of the people that worked on Akira, I was looking at the IMDb page, and it is like a who's who list of those voice actors and what they went on to do in everything, like bloody Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Well, did you watch the dub or the sub?
Can't remember. Whatever I bought off Amazon.
Did you watch English or Japanese?
I watched it in English.
Oh, okay, because I watched it in Japanese, so I have no idea what any of these people are.
Oh, right.
Mainly because when I started watching it, it defaulted to English, and it sounded like I was just like Sonic 06.
It is a bit out of sync.
Hey guys, what are you doing in this? I was like, gee, I can't listen to this fucking.
See, because I've never seen. Yeah, that's an interesting anime debate: the dub versus sub.
I am always sub. I am always subs.
So you don't like taking the reappropriation of it and that.
I'm not. I just like.
Do you find that
9 times out of 10, the voice they pick
is terrible.
So bad.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it sounded like Danny Phantom.
Okay.
When I was like, I can't listen to this in time.
Right. Okay. So with that whole.
But Akira is fucking beautiful.
Akira is beautiful. Yeah.
Scene, every fucking frame of this film could be a wallpaper.
Yeah.
This film is beautiful.
It is a beautiful film, and I mean, so to segue, to the concept of the dream movie. It does have a few dream sequences and a few ideas around.
Well, so how ugly were those children?
They're super ugly.
So soup sugs.
Why?
Well, a bunch of uggos. Well, I think
Because
it implies that the test they were on aged them.
yeah, because essentially, like what I just so you know, the remit for Akira is there was a nuclear holocaust in 1988, which was when the film was actually released, right? So that everything blew up at the point at which
was
you're
it
watching
a nuke
it.
or was it just Akira blowing up?
Uh,
I thought it was Akira blowing up.
It's a nuclear thing. It's in a nuclear holocaust because Akira was caused by nuclear testing, a bit like Godzilla, I think. Or maybe they made Akira and he had the ability to do this. But so essentially, whether it's nuclear bombing or equivalent through some sort of power, it is an allegory for.
Oh, it's definitely an allegory for like fucking
nukes and stuff. Yeah, but I weirdly, because we are in the age of a pandemic and post-apocalyptic world, it is set in Neo Tokyo in 2019, so a year ago. So we're ahead of Akira times, ahead of the cyberpunk era.
Yeah. So,
and given we have to walk back miles.
I just want to say something. Is Neo any place? Is the fucking coolest place ever.
Neo London.
Neo London would be fucking amazing. I always imagine a lot of neon.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear Neo. Other than it's like
they should just rename if New York gets bombed, just call it Neo York. Or Future Tech.
No, right. Every place would be improved by adding a Neo.
Oh, I agree.
I feel like that would be great.
And that like smoothly segues us into the concept of the Dream movie because Neo is in the Matrix. Yes.
That was completely unintentional.
I know.
On my part.
That wasn't scripted. I know he's got written down here, and I won't let him say it. Right? You're not going to be racist on my podcast, but you're allowed to do a fucking corporate segue like that, son. Well done. So let me introduce the topic, which is what I want to discuss, and it became apparent to me in the introduction of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. That the idea, the concept, as we covered a couple of weeks ago, the groundhog concept in movies and its various iterations, I wanted to discuss dreams can come true. Apart from the American dream. The American dream is dead. Hollywood, stop trying to sell it to us. It's a lie. But the concept of the dream movie, including, right, and this is why, this is my absolute mind-blown moment, is I'm sat there thinking, oh yeah, the Dream movie, Inception, The Matrix, etc. Obviously, biggest one. Then, who pops up?
You're saying The Matrix is a bigger dream movie than Inception?
I will fucking... If you want to go.
Yeah, I better hear some explanation.
Alright. Well, we can look up the box office.
I don't get... No, not box office, like what is more... Dreams.
Alright, yeah. Alright, Inception is more dreamy.
Because that typing is dreams in your mind.
Alright, Martin Luther King. But quickly...
You didn't mention what I painted my face.
Jesus. No, but so, as I'm watching Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, I look at the credits. Up comes a young Larry Fishburne.
Don't you mean Lawrence Fishburne?
No, he comes up in the opening credits as Larry Fishburne.
Macaulay Culkin face. What?
Yeah, literally, it's that funny. Yeah. And I was like referring to it for the rest of the night watching the film, be like, old Larry Fishburne there. And I'd love to ask him, like, at what point did he go, right, young cool guy, I'm Larry Fishburne, and then he realised, no, I'm a serious actor, Lawrence Fishburne. Because
do you think? Because I don't know what his real name is. I'm assuming it's Lawrence Fishburne. Do you think he was like, someone was like, oh, why did you call yourself Larry Fishburne?
Yeah.
And went, oh, well, my name's Lawrence Fishburne. And then went, change your name to Lawrence Fishburne. That is so much cooler than Larry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think of Larry? I think of the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
That guy is
never as in Jim Carrey's Cable Guy?
No, Larry the Cable Guy.
From what?
Blue Collar Comedy. He's a terrible comedian. He did the voice of the tow truck in Cars.
Nah.
I'm Gator. Ding! That guy.
What, in The Simpsons?
No, in Cars.
No, I don't know.
Have you not watched Cars?
What, with Lightning McQueen?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm not, to be honest, it's a shit film. It's the worst Disney film. I'm not going to give you shit.
Yeah, the problem is, with that, the reason why Disney fucked up with Cars is the same reason why Power Rangers fucked up when they made Power Rangers Turbo, is because Transformers already does Transformers, yeah? And when you're anthropomorphizing an inanimate object,
I'm gonna try and fuck it.
you can if you wish.
Rule 34, that shit.
Yeah. Essentially, we're way off topic, and I need to get back to the thing. But
I'm sorry.
Anyway, the point is like it doesn't work.
The point is Larry Fishburne. That's a shit name.
Yeah, Larry Fishburne is a shit name. But I was watching the opening credits of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I had this moment. I had this this epiphany. What if Lawrence Fishburne in 1985 is it 1985, 6-ish?
That is general.
Sort of mid-late 80s is the third one. What if he's in a low-res modem version of the Matrix trying to find Neo, and this is just his start, like Morpheus begins, and actually Morpheus lives inside this dream world, and he's like, these people don't know how to effectively, it's like in the Matrix sequels, there are vampires, there are these other things that live as older versions of the Matrix. According to the path of
Neo, there are vampires.
Yes, there was, and that game was sick. I loved that game.
You fight a giant ant.
Yeah, right.
You fight a giant Mr. Smith.
Yeah, made out of all the Agent Smiths. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
was it Smiths or was it just buildings?
No, You're right.
It was. I think he hit you with bits of building.
And
I apologise.
It's okay. Please don't offend me again. And so I was imagining that Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors could be a version of the Matrix. Discuss.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, all right. I think it's great, but it adds an extra layer to seeing Lawrence Fishburne in his early career, and it was quite interesting. And I realised actually I've seen this film before, and yeah, I really liked it. But I sort of wanted to discuss the concept of the Dream movie in its various guises. Just so you know, basically when The Matrix was produced, they had to pay a load of money to the producers of Ghost in the Shell for reasons me and Nick disagree with. But they did have to do it, I promise you. It's on the behind the scenes documentary.
Do you not want to continue talking about Nightmare on Elm Street before you...
No, I just wanted to say, basically, all these films take ideas from one another, and they explore them in a way that obviously is exploited for genre. Obviously, Ghost in the Shell, all of these films are kind of like the archetypal go-to. The Matrix is one of the best and coherent science fiction films. Ghost in the Shell is one of the most coherent and most well-known anime films. Nightmare on Elm Street, likewise, biggest horror film franchise, or one of the. And so with that introduction to the dream concept, what does your brain have to say about it, mate?
Dreams or nightmare? Dreams or Nightmare on Elm Street?
Well, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street as a concept, I personally found the third film much more compelling than the first.
I did tell you to take a chance on these films.
Yeah.
I love Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not my favourite slasher film because I'm a big Jason man.
Thank you.
Love Jason.
Thank you. Jason
Friday
X.
the 13th. Friday the 13th is my favourite bad film.
Yeah.
Every single one of these films.
Is his name Jason X, or is that just one of
Jason X is the 10th film where he goes to space.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yes, which is a very good film. Not very good. It's a good film.
I think it's quite good.
That film was the best. That is two of the best kill scenes in that franchise.
Yeah,
the liquid nitrogen kill,
mm-hmm.
where he freezes her face and smashes it into. And where he beats. It's in a virtual reality where he beats a person in a sleeping bag to death with someone else in a sleeping bag.
Oh yeah.
And that is the coolest shit.
I like the android with the nipples when she's trying to use different nipples.
Yes, because she eventually she becomes a head. If I recall correctly, because Jason cuts her off with a machete.
Yeah.
That was a weird time where like they were like, well, what do you want to do with this film? Well, we can put it in space.
Yeah, collab it.
See what happens in there.
Let's take this and splice it with this.
Yeah, like why don't we put it in space? Because there was Jason X, there was a Leprechaun in space.
Yeah.
There was Leprechaun in Space was a weird film because there was a time I was like, all right, we've done Leprechaun, we put them in space. What can we do next? I don't know. We could put them with black people, and then there was Leprechaun Back to the Hood or Leprechaun to the Hood. It was like after they were like, okay, we've done space.
Just go to space.
Maybe rap music.
Yeah, I mean, didn't
Hellraiser went to space?
All right, hang on. Yeah. So in a world where these people can go to space, do other science fiction concepts, I've got a central idea, or I want to pose an idea to you. Right. So in Ghost in the Shell. Before production,
I just realised I've gone so far from.
You've gone so far from dreams.
I'll go back in a second.
Right, but I'm bringing it back around because what I want to say is imagine in a concept where so in Ghost in the Shell, it's an inversion of the Matrix, right? Because Ghost in the Shell is about whether or not this ghost that lives inside this android's mind is just an element of her design, or if she actually has a soul. And so obviously the opposite is true in the Matrix, where real people, souls if you like, live within a digital system. This digital being has posits the question whether or not she has a soul, right? And that being the central idea in how it sort of communicate. Like if robots, can androids dream of electric sheep? That's the classic thing. So, if androids can dream of electric sheep, can they have nightmares? And can Freddy Krueger kill robots in their dreams? Yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah? I don't know about
that. we were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I love these films. These are films. In terms of just like slasher, these have the most personality of any slasher films. Because Jason don't fucking talk. Mike don't fucking talk.
Yeah, Freddy's way more sassy.
He's got quips.
He has got a lot of quips.
He's always want to just make it worse.
It's prime time, bitch.
It's welcome to prime
time. Oh, it's welcome to prime time, bitch.
There we go.
Thank you. Yeah. Not bad, Freddy Krueger, by the way. I'm your boyfriend now. There you go.
I think it's too harsh.
Really? Well, I'm being harsher.
No, I think you're being too harsh.
I'm being too harsh on Freddy Krueger.
No, I think your voice is being too harsh.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So you think I better go down? Yeah, that's all like that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. These films are great. Some of them are not so great.
I haven't seen the second one, but
the second one's good. I like the second one. There's one that's basically the exact same film as. Who's the guy in fucking Jurassic Park? The main guy.
Which one?
The first one.
Hang on. Like, do you mean?
Not Jeff Goldblum.
Not Jeff Goldblum, but
the Doctor.
Sam.
Do you know what? Fuck it. Don't worry.
Sam.
No, ignore it. I think it's the
guy with the
Mind
hat.
of Madness. Mind of Madness or Mouth of Madness, something. The same guy wrote both these films, and it's the exact same plot line. Where it's like, well, you never went with anyone. You're just all these people died. Well, these people don't exist.
Right.
It's the exact same plot. There are very bad films in Nightmare on Elm Street, but I do enjoy it because it is one of the few. It's the first slasher film where they gave the killer like a
personality. Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Because they call fucking Michael Myers the Shape. That's his entire thing. He's not a character. He's just a shape.
That's shit.
It's also fucking metal, but Freddy is he's a guy.
Yeah.
You can have a beer, Freddy. You can, if he weren't trying to kill you. You can have a good time.
The only issue I have with Nightmare on Elm Street and the general folklore of those horror films is what I've referred to before. Is that for me, like Ringu, ancient, because, and this is something that we need to get into in terms of the concept of the dream movie, is that how ancient a civilization is and its concepts feeds directly into its ideology about how it can perceive and promote ideas of consciousness, right? So that sounds very pretentious what I just said, but let me explain. So at the end of Ghost in the Shell, right, we have this Buddhist sentiment about a being being able to transcend into this larger, like a post-humanist era, using this like Buddhist teaching and stuff. And I felt naturally, like very instantly when I first saw the film, that it did have this religious connotation, and that it is trying to pose this idea that consciousness or sentience isn't just isn't about, like, when we talk about what is our humanity, is what we are, like Brian Cox says, we are the stars made conscious. That's my shit Brian Cox impression. And like
Jason, every Brian Cox impression is kind of shit.
yeah, true.
But no one does a good. Even Brian Cox doesn't do as good as Brian Cox.
So yeah, that concept with the idea at the end of Ghost in the Shell that this consciousness, sentience can evolve from beings, that it's not exclusive to humanity. Like in real life, there's do you think that dolphins dream? Do you think that like octopus dream? Like the smartest animals in society? Like
I hope dolphins don't dream.
You hope they don't dream?
No, they're evil as fuck.
Yeah, that's Simpsons, mate.
They're Have you not looked up? They're the rapists of the sea.
I know ducks rape a lot.
Dolphins kill for fun.
Oh man,
it's us and dolphins that were the only people.
Do you reckon there's like a dolphin Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, probably.
With like claws on his fins.
No, I don't, because I don't think they understand the concept of claws. But no, dolphins are evil.
They're vicious.
They kill for fun.
All right, but that's not to say whether or not
rape.
Oh yeah, all right, but if they do all of that, do you think that consciousness lives in other sentient beings other than humans?
No.
You don't think they're as conscious as we are? You don't think they believe?
No, they don't. They're not aware of like.
All right, so in real life, so you don't think anything else could evolve to become
is different from what they can do now.
But hang on, just because dolphins, or let's say like an orangutan is the closest to us, yeah? Do you think orangutans have feelings?
Every animal has feelings. That's different from consciousness.
Okay, but to what extent? This is a serious question now.
No, every animal
if
has
they can
feelings.
Cry, right, then do you think that they dream?
Yeah, but I don't think their dreams have any relevance.
So how much... Hang on. So dreaming...
Oh, no dog wakes up from a dream and be like, oh, fuck, that probably means I've...
Like, you don't think that...
that means I'm nervous.
Hang on. But if I'll give you an example, yeah? Remember that famous, couple, like last year or so, the orangutan that's trying to fight off the JCB digger? Yeah, and it's like deforestation in a nutshell, and it went viral all over the world. Do you think at night, when that orangutan goes to sleep, it has nightmares, and those nightmares are caused by anxieties that its home has been destroyed?
Yeah, but I don't think it knows why.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I disagree with you. I reckon it knows why.
I don't think it wakes up being like, oh god, that's probably because fucking years back when that thing happened. I think it's just like, I don't fuck. It's a fucking. I don't know what's happening.
I bet you, in the future, when there's more studies, I bet you're wrong. I think that
I'm wrong about most things.
Sentient beings in general, like, do have this perception that we're not able to just because they can't articulate it to us, doesn't mean they're the stupid species.
No, I'm not saying this
because we can't articulate it to them.
But there was I think it was orangutan or gorilla that knew sign language.
Yeah.
And it would get upset when its pet kitten died.
Okay.
So I'm aware they have feelings, and they are but I feel like consciousness is more than that.
Well, it's about you're literally conscious of yourself and your own existence. But I think that's what
consciousness is more than just I'm aware of what I'm doing and how it affects things. I think it is more than that. I think it's being like, well, I need to really plan ahead.
Okay.
Like my dog is conscious, but it's not gonna. If you put a bunch of food in front of my dog, it's just going to eat all the fucking food.
It's not going to put it in the fridge.
It's not going to think ahead.
It's not going to plan its meals.
It won't plan what it's fucking going to do.
But that's the stupidity in like breeding animals outside. Oh yeah,
we played God.
Particularly with the dogs and stuff. Like that's not. I don't find that reasonable. But okay, so what I'm trying to get at here is, the Matrix is about human souls trapped inside a digital system.
So we're still talking about Friday on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ghost in the Shell is about a machine, like a possible world where machines and humans and all like conscious beings transcend from the physical reality of which we know to just be human or just be robots, etc.
Okay, so are we talking about Matrix / Ghost in the Shell?
And then in the Nightmare on Elm Street, it is used as a trope, if you like, but it does in Dream Warriors go to like a deeper level, because in the first film I watched, obviously I understand different moments. It plays with reality rather than, it's not really posing a question in the way that the science fiction portrayals of dreams do. And Inception's actually, although the most commercially successful, probably the most boring example, because that's basically just a piece of technology, isn't it, where you can access this.
I wouldn't say that's what makes it boring.
No,
There's more to it.
You're just gonna say because it's a Christopher Nolan film, but
that film is so fucking dumb. I think you're giving the writers of A Nightmare on Elm Street far too much credit.
Yeah, I'm sure I am.
I think Wes Craven just was like, what if sleeping was dangerous?
Yeah.
And I went, what you fucking...
But I love the idea.
Imagine in your fucking dome piece if you died when you were sleeping and everyone was like...
My nan did that last week.
Like, are you alright, Wes? And he was like, I'm going to fucking write a film.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what if sleeping was terrifying?
But what's the most interesting idea? Like, what's the most interesting perspective? Like, what I find it interesting because I have this like personality where I don't like conscious reality. Ironically, in discussing what is consciousness, my conscious reality and experience of the world hasn't been that interesting enough, where I'm always searching for something else. I'm like, but is there a deep... And obviously, like the conspiracy theorists of the internet, that's like the one of the tropes of today. It's like, it wasn't actually today. Like, we could be talking about the Wizard of Oz, the same as the Matrix. Like, the Wizard of Oz posited that idea. Same film. Avatar and Pocahontas.
They even do a Wizard of Oz reference in Matrix.
I'm sure they do.
Because it's like, you ain't in Kansas anymore,
Hang on,
Dorothy.
follow the White Rabbit.
No, because it's like, well, that's Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And you go, guess what, Dorothy? You're not.
Yeah, old Seifert says the line.
You ain't in one. Guess what, Dorothy? You ain't in Kansas anymore. Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg.
He's not in Wahlberg.
No, but it's the bold guy.
Yeah,
he's
the bold guy.
Guess what, Dorothy? You're not going to be in Kansas anymore. Because they do
bye
make
Dorothy.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
No,
Wizard of Oz reference.
Wizard of Oz references.
So you've just completely contradicted yourself.
I've agreed with myself. No, because White Rabbit is Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
You ain't in Kansas anymore is Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm right.
You said that they didn't reference the Wizard of Oz.
No, I said it's a different film to the.
No, it's the same film.
You said. You said, you son of a... Look at me! Look at me when I talk.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No, but...
yeah. It references those things.
Yeah,
But what's the most... I mean, so do you think that Wes Craven and the Nightmare concept was... Because I think it's quite clever once they explore it properly. I mean, I think the first film explores it in the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes of Nightmare on Elm Street 1 are the most interesting because obviously you think she's come out of the dream. The idea of coming out of the dream and being back in a dream and can still get murdered.
Yeah.
But then we have the idea of like reality. What is reality?
Well, it's because in the first film, like, their dreams are like, I'm in a factory. It's not again. That's not.
Nobody dreams of factories.
Yeah, it's like again, like when they dream, it's been like, I'm in a factory. Like I'm in a very like no one dreams like that.
Yeah.
But as it goes further on, they get more dreamlike.
Yeah.
Because in Dream Warriors, they're going like, I've got powers. I can walk now.
Yeah.
So like they become more interesting.
Yeah, they develop the idea further, but I think okay. So in terms
of the first one, they're just going like, okay, what can they dream of that gives us interesting ways to kill them?
Yeah, but
then they became like, okay, what do we dream of? Let's think of a way to kill him now.
Yeah, I understand that. But I mean, I think the interesting thing here is, particularly in a comparison of, if we take the three, Nightmare, Matrix, and Ghost in the Shell, is that essentially the dream concept is played with in all three in terms of reality, like what their understanding of reality is because at the end of Ghost in the Shell, we have this posit of, well, are we in a post-conscious era? Like, can all conscious beings, regardless of their physical makeup, interact and be one with each other, right? This kind of like Buddhist principle. Then in the Matrix, we have this, later on in the sequels when he can affect real vehicles, he can destroy the Sentinels and stuff, right? And then we have in Nightmare on Elm Street constantly, and I know it's just a horror trope. It's just like it's a technique to use at times when you want to scare the audience. But all of them do pose this blend, and I like this. Beyond the just
Two souls.
The robot, just beyond the robot with a soul is can it transcend beyond that the digital world or what is just this computer and me as a human with a beating heart? What if there was symbiosis, and what if it could transcend that into true consciousness in a transcendental way? And that hippie bullshit is what really fucking interests me. So that's what I like about it. I'm like, oh, that bit. You get it when Freddy Krueger, they wake up and they're no longer anything, but then something else happens. That supernatural element, like, it's as if the supernatural and the high concept science fiction stuff can meet at a point where I think they're the same thing. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Stranger Things has fucking made $1 million out of that. So I'm just basically explaining Stranger Things is fucking.
So Inception was a good film, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was Leonardo DiCaprio staring at a green screen going, I'm getting paid loads of money.
Okay, you're right. It was a perfect film
for a Leonardo DiCaprio vehicle.
Did you not like Inception?
I liked it. I've got to admit, I was thinking the other day, I found Interstellar a really quite emotional kind of like roller coaster. Like I find that really like that should be included in terms of the dream movie, because I think that once you talk about interdimensional space and time, like then the concept of what is consciousness and what you're experiencing in real time are one and the same. But I understand now I'm getting really out there. So but to me, you asked me a question on Inception, and I answered the question with Interstellar. So I thought it was forgettable. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is at once he's so handsome that he's sort of ugly. He's sort of like a cat. He's sort of like, I look at him and I go, if I was your girlfriend, which
I am, on Wednesdays,
I find him. I don't know why I don't like him. I like him. I just think like, I don't know. I bet he loves himself. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, he's got.
It's like you're fit, but you know it. Yeah.
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm eating him.
Wasn't he like 6?
He's delicious. No, he's like 4, 15, 16.
Anyway,
it's creepy and illegal.
Look, Inception was good, but it is an example of a director that paints by the numbers rather than painting with broad strokes. Like
I'm happy that you're on my wavelength.
I know, but so like if you think about the end of Inception, it's a beautiful. Is that the bit with the dreidel?
Because
we have the dreidel, and the dreidel is the genius part of the film, but that is just
that's not his totem, right?
What?
That's not his totem.
Well, it's not his dreidel.
No, well, because the entire film was like, this is our totem. Like, Jessica Levitt has the things sort of dice.
I can't remember all the details.
Well, basically,
they each have a totem.
Yeah, they all have a totem. They're all totem. Because I think Jessica Levitt has a chess piece.
Right.
And he spins it, right? Well, that was never his totem.
Right.
His wedding ring is the way you know when he's dreaming or not. Because when he's dreaming, he's wearing a wedding ring.
Right.
When he's not dreaming, he hasn't got a wedding ring. Or his totem is his kids.
So has it become real?
At the very end, it's real life.
Oh,
because he meets his kids. He meets his kids, doesn't it?
I can't fucking remember the film.
The last thing of that film is he walks into a house and he spins the dreidel.
Yeah.
And then he sees his kids and he walks off, and
Yeah.
then you don't know if it keeps on spinning.
Yeah.
But it looks, maybe it won't spin. That was never his totem. That's his wife's totem.
So is he in the
He's
Inception?
not. No, because every time you see his kids, because the entire film is like they use what you know, right? And going like, I'll spin a totem and it'll keep on spinning. Because for some reason people won't stop a totem spinning in their dreams. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But every time he sees his kids in his dreams, he only sees the back of them.
Right. Yeah.
He never sees them. But at the very end, they turn around and you see the kids.
Yeah. No, it was an emotional ending. It was a good film. It's just like
his kids were his totem and also the wedding ring. Because when he's in, because he was doing this.
Yeah.
For people who are listening, I'm sensuously
rubbing his wedding ring finger.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. So you're telling me, right? So you're a fan of Inception.
Oh God, no.
What don't you like about it?
It's stolen entirely from a different film.
What's that?
I watched a film today.
Yeah.
No, not today. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Called Paprika.
Oh yeah, an anime film as well.
An anime which will get relevance later. Will become more relevant later on.
Come on, yeah.
It's
a masterpiece.
It's a fucking great film.
Yeah.
I really love it. Every interesting part of Inception is stolen from Paprika, and Paprika does it better.
Is Paprika the one about a woman that finds out about her life is being videotaped? Like she's basically webcammed.
No,
I can't
Paprika
remember.
is all dreams. It's all dreams.
Oh right, yeah, it's the super psychedelic one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in about 30 minutes, you and me are going to talk about Ghost in the Shell and the Matrix,
right?
And I'll disagree with you, and I'll get very upset. I might cry. I don't know.
Right.
But Inception takes a lot from Paprika.
Okay.
It was directed by Satoshi Kon. My hero. He should be a Miyazaki-esque character. Paranoia agent, Millennium. What the fuck is it? Oh, fuck. I'm embarrassed of myself.
That's alright.
Satoshi Kon, he did Paranoia Agent. He's one of my favourite directors of animation.
Yeah, because I watched this at university. Yeah, I need to watch that back because that's a genius film.
Tokyo Godfather's Millennium Actor.
Okay.
I think that's the one.
Okay.
There are so many instances where I can be like, I see Inception in this film.
Yeah. I have watched it, and it is a good film. I mean, I think we give Christopher Nolan a hard time on this podcast when he does bring the mainstream vehicle.
You said we give. It's not just me anymore. It's us.
All right, yeah, you've turned me. You've made me hate Christopher Nolan, despite The Dark Knight being my favourite film, which is a massive cliche as a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. So. Okay, so Inception, it does explore the idea of the dream movie. I mean, we haven't really. I mean, what is the original dream movie? Is the Matrix the dream movie? Is Inception the dream
I wouldn't
movie?
say
What's
Matrix.
the dream?
I don't think Matrix is the
I
dream.
don't think the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff is the original dream movie because it's just talking about it's using it for a horror trope. I mean. The dream concept.
Just because it's horror doesn't mean it has to be.
No, that's a good point. Actually, that's the actual dismissive B movie side of.
There are a bunch of concepts that have been created by horror.
Yeah. Okay,
and horror sci-fi.
Okay. Again, with the 2001 thing, that has an element. I mean, we mentioned earlier with the 2001 Monolith with the Christian rock video thing. And that going viral. But if you think about the end of 2001, he goes through space and time, and then it's just his own consciousness that he's experiencing.
Yeah.
He gets older and older until he's a baby. And I was thinking about that in terms of how does the movie in general explore the concept of dreams and whether or not when we covered the Groundhog Day stuff. You've got Groundhog Day, and then you've got all those other films that have kind of copied it and then parodied it or flipped it in a way.
Yeah.
But actually, the dream concept I mean, I'm sure we're missing some 1950s sci-fi films here, but I'm pretty sure that, like, you know, it's quite a contemporary idea, or that it couldn't be explored well enough until kind of now, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What is the it does Nightmare on? Could you have Nightmare on Elm Street? Could you have The Matrix, or could you have Inception, The Matrix, and Paprika without Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes. 100%.
Right. So you think that they would have existed?
Well, the idea of like, the idea of like someone going, "Hey, everyone, dreams are interesting, aren't they?" That's just an idea that like. No one's not thought dreams are interesting. How many times has someone gone up to you and be like, "Oh, bruv, crazy dream I just had last night," and then they've talked to you about it, and you'd be like, "Bro, I don't give a shit about your dream at all." Oh, did something amazing happen? It was a fucking dream, but you have to be like, "Oh, is that? Oh, where was? Oh, that's amazing. I was where? Crazy. It's amazing what dreams can do. Dreams are something that all people have been obsessed with dreams since fucking records.
Oh yeah, of course. Like in terms
people
of psychology,
always make films about like, yo, what if we get into dreams and shit.
But I mean that then brings the question back around. You're saying that The Matrix isn't a dream movie.
That's because I don't think it has anything to do with dreams.
But then we've got Alice in Wonderland. We've got
Alice in Wonderland ain't dreams.
The Wizard of Oz reference. We've got again, but they're parallel dimensions. Then, if you as the audience member fully believe that they're not dreams, right? They're not hallucinations. They are exactly. You're an evangelical Christian because you're taking the Bible verbatim, whereas I could interpret it and say in the New Testament, all right, they say Noah took 2 of every animal, but realistically, the lions would fucking eat everyone, and it wouldn't be a sustainable way to transport the world's creatures. And we've done a lot of religion tonight, by the way. And I'm just saying, like, I get the religious or in general, the iconographic representation of these things, and perhaps maybe it's an art form.
Yeah, but in all those films, it turns out to be like, in Alice in Wonderland,
wakes up, right? She straight up wakes up at the end. She's been tripping, mate. She's been smoking something.
Well, yeah, just because someone
wakes up doesn't mean they didn't go anywhere. Yes.
Yeah.
That's where the dream. That's because what we do as children or as young people, in dreaming in these concepts and beliefs, is we metaphysically reimpose our own ideals, our own ambitions onto this art form, whereby we can explore the idea that maybe our own dreams, our own things beyond reality, could one day be real because they are represented on screen. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. But
that's a boring idea to you.
No, they reference it purely because it's like you're going through the rabbit hole is generally a term used to describe like, oh, you're about to see some fucked up shit.
Yeah. So do you think the iconography of it is just that it's because what I want to pose to you is I also agree with you to a much lesser extent is The Matrix a dream movie over Inception, Nightmare on Elm Street, etc. What I'm saying is it uses the same thing because I would say the moment until Neo or Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We've been expecting you. The moment Mr. Anderson leaves the Matrix is when he comes out of the dream. And so I would posit that it's the reason why we've talked about Ghost in the Shell, they had to pay off Ghost in the Shell, and that kind of like why it links to the dream movie is it is the exact opposite. If androids can dream of electric sheep, then humans can be duped by robots in thinking they're dreaming of real sheep. And therefore we are you're in stasis the entire time in a pod in liquid, right? So you think that you're living your life, and you are to a certain extent in the Matrix. If we lived in the Matrix right now, this is the Matrix, right? You are still unconscious and you are still dreaming. That's the stasis they're keeping you under.
If the film, the first 10 minutes of a film involves someone, oi, wake the fuck up, you're dreaming the entire time, don't be a dickhead.
Because you got to remember the first moment we see Neo, but it's like, he's asleep on his desk. He goes, "Wake up, Neo!" So he's asleep inside the Matrix, and he's already unconscious.
If the entire film was like, "Oh, don't fucking dream, you dickhead.
Yeah.
This is welcome to the real world." It's not a film about dreams. If the entire point of the film is like, "Oi, this isn't about dreams."
No, but I still think it's about. It's not. It's about the idea of the dream, like because they posit that the idea of the Matrix was a paradise in its first few versions, and they all their cattle went insane. So you are keeping people asleep, but you have to keep them at a relative like unhappiness in order for reality to feel real to them. So you are in a dream. Like the Matrix is a dream.
No, the Matrix is a dream, but the film isn't about dreams.
All right, but Nightmare on Elm Street is about murdering people.
The entire film, Matrix is about you shouldn't be asleep. Stay woke AF.
No, yeah.
The entire film is dedicated towards basically being like, listen, that was all of that was a dream. You shouldn't believe any of it. It's not about them being like, you need to dream to enter this.
No, yeah, okay. Alright, I understand
the film is
like,
about
the conscious level of people.
About,
as soon as you're out of it, you go, alright, yeah, plug me back in, etc. Yeah.
If it was about, hey guys, we need to explore, you need to sleep to find your dreams and look around, that'd be about dreams. If it's about, hey everyone, that was all fucking bullshit, welcome to the real world.
Yeah,
it's not about dreams.
Alright, fair enough.
It's a point, but it's not about that.
No, I don't think that they're dreaming when they're plugged in, when they're jacked into.
No, it's a simulation. So I think they're dreaming.
No, okay, I get that, but I would argue that until you understand that, and until anybody understood that, the way that it would be interpreted in your brain would be like I am. That's why I featured it. That's the only reason. It's like it's kind of there as a thing, but like it posits the idea that the mind and the ability to be jacked into this thing or whatever means that this level of consciousness is available, like that your consciousness can exist outside of your body. Is that's essentially the only reason why they had to pay off the ghost and shell people and stuff, is because that central concept. I get it, like it's not dreaming, but then again, do you think in the case of Nightmare on Elm Street that he's a supernatural demon? Do you think it's got a religious supernatural context, or do you take it, because earlier we talked about like if you're evangelical about a piece, then if you're taking it exactly, like if you say to me Alice in Wonderland is real, that she travels through an interdimensional tree, like bit similar to the technology that like Doctor Who would have, through time and space into an alternate reality, or would you say it's a metaphor for taking hallucinogenic drugs? Right, I would say the latter. I don't. Hang on. But in this situation, would you say with Nightmare on Elm Street, like, is it a supernatural demon that actually is the agent of the devil trying to take lost souls in their sleep, or do you take it as like when you're watching it as a fan or as someone that wants to believe in the concept of something, particularly with the nightmare thing, do you think it's supernatural demon, or do you think I'm watching this purely for its like sort of flesh level, so it's base level, do you know what I mean, like just it's a slasher, or do you actually like reason with the concept itself as a horror fan or as a Nightmare on Elm Street fan? I know it's not very funny. Sorry,
no,
I genuinely want to know.
Who's the author of that's one though? Because my mind even saying H.P. Lovecraft.
No, it's not.
No,
Lovecraft,
it's not H.P. Lovecraft.
No, it's not Lovecraft.
It's because I've been thinking about him a lot. The thing is, in Nightmare on Elm Street, they say Helen.
Lewis Carroll. Right.
Lewis Carroll did a fucking lot of hallucinogenics.
Did he?
Fucking loads.
Okay.
So that is hallucinogenic. He was like.
The first article cut that comes up is BBC News. Is Alice in Wonderland really about drugs?
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's where I get to, the point at which what are we really discussing here is when we're talking about the work, if we talk about the work without actually talking about the context in the way it was written, like there's the doors of Oh man,
If you know about context, I feel like Wes Craven wasn't like, oh, the context is important. It was like, I think it would be cool if people were scared of sleeping.
Mm.
That is the main point of that entire franchise. Being like,
I mean, the main franchise is
what if sleeping was scary?
It'll keep you up at night when you watch a horror film.
I don't want to be killed
and
by a
so
fucking
someone
man
thought about that
with a
and went,
face.
hang on, yeah.
So
okay.
I feel like you can't with Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like that is entirely different. Like you can't put that in Inception.
Well, the genre itself, the horror genre, undermines the depth at which it can explore the idea because of the way that the slasher genre is quite self-effacing B-movie kind of like, it's trashy and it's in its aesthetic and it's mean.
Especially at that time, horror wasn't like, oh, we're making this fucking deep.
Yeah.
At that time, it was like, maybe he puts her into a TV. Maybe he smashed her head into a TV. Maybe that would be cool. That's that entire film. For like 10, 20 years.
I will not stop saying that.
It's a beautiful quote.
I'm your boyfriend now.
For like 20 years, that entire genre was like, how fucking messed up can we make this kill?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's not until recently we've been like, okay, let's see if we can give some fucking like fucked up backstory behind this shit.
I mean, I've talked about the Dream movie for an hour and 15 minutes, and we haven't actually referenced Blade Runner. And that's
because I've been waiting for you to like really talk about Ghost in the Shell.
I haven't got anything else to say about it really.
Good, because I can talk about. Well, we'll talk about Matrix for a bit, and then I'll talk about Ghost in the Shell, and then I'll talk about Blade Runner.
Okay. So I mean, Ghost in the Shell
Matrix.
first.
We'll do Matrix, then we go to Ghost in the Shell.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what else we need to cover.
You love the Matrix.
I love the Matrix. I mean, if you don't know what it's about a computer hacker that gets contacted by someone, and then it turns out he's in a computer simulation. By Larry Fishburne. Oh, well, actually, he gets contacted by. No, yeah, you're right.
Larry Fishburne.
Yeah, first it's Larry
Trinity,
Fishburne,
but
and then it's
basically
Trinity, yeah.
Larry Fishburne.
But anyway, so it's about people, the future human civilization living inside a computer simulation of the end of the 20th century, in order for machines to keep being able to power themselves, using us as little batteries, because in a previous war against the machines, which I consider to be during the Terminator saga of science fiction movie history, I see that as a continuation. I see Terminator, then Matrix. Anyway, and they scorch the sun and destroy the sun, and so that's why they then the machines enslave us and create a computer simulation, first of a paradise to make us happy. That didn't work because we can't be happy apparently, so we had to have late 20th century capitalism, and that posits the idea of like this computer generated simulation world, which we just unconsciously live through our entire lives, subconsciously live through, rather than Ghost in the Shell being about a robot, an android that has this ghost within her that we don't know has been a design of her, or is a conscious element, an evolution of her, of her like consciousness. And so those two things are inverted, and I think like The Matrix blew me away as a kid. Like seeing it when I was like 14. My dad wouldn't let me rent it when it came out in 1999. I remember walking into Blockbuster and seeing a Matrix VHS, and I picked it up and I saw the code and I saw all of it, and I thought, this is the fucking shit. And I was like, oh my god! I instantly knew, without being able to see it, I knew that like whatever it is. I mean, we covered this in the Blade podcast, but like, it's mixture of the club culture, that being at a time in the late 90s where it was still half kind of underground, and the stylization of it. It was completely unique. Like, to actually talk about the Matrix as a thing, like the Matrix dropped at the end of 99 and the whole of Hollywood went, oh shit. Like, it was completely like unique. It was completely like, obviously the fashion, all of the I mean, we can't talk about without talking about Bullet Time, but Bullet Time and the trench coats, all the leather, all of the music. I mean, it was just an absolute kind of like grunge, new metal, rock, electro, fucking banging soundtrack. It melds the world of like dance music and the kind of gothic rock element that in the late 90s was very popular. Hashtag new rocks. And like, yeah, so that film blew me away. Later, I saw Ghost in the Shell when I was like about 20, and like that blew me away as well. Like, I do agree with the religious context of the end of the film, and it does speak to me quite a bit. Like, you know, what I was talking about earlier with the elements of in the sequels, when you go post-human, and it's like Neo is able to destroy Sentinels in the real world. Like, obviously, there could be some bullshit sci-fi explanation like, oh, well, the microchip that connects him to the when he jacks in, and that technology into the Matrix also signifies that he's the one, and therefore he can just instantly destroy these machines. I'm like, no, I like to believe, similarly in how you don't want, like, you just go with the bullshit of horror movies and, oh, Wes Craven just fucking made this shit up on the fly. I'm the complete opposite. I love to indulge. I love to let my imagination fly and say, what else is possible?
I like to indulge. It really depends on the context. I mean,
yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street is like, all right, let's think of cool ways to kill people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that it's clearly
the Matrix
a vehicle.
Is like, let's try.
The Matrix is high concept.
And be smart, even though we're kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think the Matrix is a bit like a Pixar film. It's intended to come in. They go, look, it's an action film, but we're going to pose all of these. The Matrix is the only film I remember being taught in RE. That's a big deal, man. Like, you know, I actually got taught about like philosophical and religious concepts through the guise of the Matrix. That is cool. If a film can do that, if a film can posit the idea of consciousness, humanity, love, of all of these different things in such a symbolic way, then like the Matrix does just transcend any other action science fiction film in its groundbreaking ability to tell a cool story with loads of kung fu and kicking shit at people with some smart dialogue, and it's all pretty clever. So that's why I like it. Dreams can come true.
Well, we were talking about how Matrix had to pay Ghost in the Shell. Yes. And I've watched both films, and I cannot for the life of me.
So you've got a problem with this, Nick, but it's not
they paid for.
Well, they paid for the just. I'm not the producers or lawyers for Warner Brothers.
Nothing.
I can't justify it to you.
I've watched both films.
Yeah.
Those films have max 20 seconds of similarity.
All right. Okay. So I've got the article here as to why.
Is this one you've read to me?
Yeah.
And it tells me nothing. It just increases my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I don't disagree with you based on what they said.
Ghost in the Shell is more like Blade Runner than Ghost
100%, mate. 100%. Right. So just so you know, I don't.
If anyone should be paying anyone, it's fucking Christopher Nolan to the estate of Satoshi Kon.
Yeah. Okay. I agreed.
Because that is very. If you had like, how much of this is taken from this?
Yeah.
Matrix is max 30 seconds.
It quoted in this
Inception to Paprika, like 40
minutes.
100%.
100%. But this is a fact on. So Joel Silver on the making of the Matrix documentary says they had to pay Ghost in the Shell a load of money because it rips off a little bit of it, and that is kind of true. Like at the end of the day.
If anything, that proves how cool Satoshi Kon was.
Yeah, 100%.
What a fucking girl.
But what we're talking about there is specifically the plugging things into your head and your neck and stuff, and also the code coming down, the streams of code. So those things, in terms of intellectual property, are important.
Could they not have been like, okay, the code's orange,
yeah,
and they plug into their arm? Then nothing is
similar. Yeah. But I'm saying I don't remember the code in Ghost in the Shell. I'm just saying this happened, right? We can argue about it as much, but it just did happen.
No, my opinion is, the thing is, like, okay, change the colour.
Yeah.
Change the part of the body.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to pay.
I agree with you.
So what do they have to pay for? If you can make two changes, one of which is a colour,
Yeah.
and one of which is a part of
I'll
a
watch
body.
Ghost in the Shell
What the
tonight,
fuck are they paying?
and
for?
I'll address this properly because I can't
I've
tell
watched
you.
it.
I
I've
don't
watched
have.
it. Nothing about this says Matrix to me at
Okay.
all.
But they did pay them a load of money.
But I don't know what they paid for.
Intellectual property rights, mate, to be able to
It has nothing to do with the Matrix at all.
I mean, it does explore inversely the same concept as Ghost in the Shell.
What is that concept?
The ability for a post-human era of consciousness within a digital landscape.
Terminator. Philip K.D.
All right, yeah, fair enough. All right, let's move on. So right,
there are so many things about this. I can't see what makes this.
I understand that, mate. I'm telling the historical data. I'm telling you they paid them money and they saw a legal reason to do so. I understand all of your reasons. I can't tell you.
Definitely
please.
Influences, 100%. I've seen it because there is I've seen the shot by shot comparison.
Okay.
The watermelons getting shot, 100%.
Okay. Yeah,
done.
good point. The watermelons thing.
Like the putting into the neck, get it, 100%.
But in terms of the accumulative, what does that all mean in the story? I understand you. They aren't the same.
That is not enough for me to say you need to pay them.
Yeah.
Because I have Paprika and Inception are very. I'm not even going to say that Christopher Nolan should pay anyone because they are a completely different tone.
Okay, I agree with you.
Paprika is very, very dreamlike.
Yeah, it's super
Inception
psychedelic.
Is very. I don't want to say cold.
No,
but it's very.
Oh come on, we know Christopher Nolan's films are a bit cold.
But like it's very.
They're not cold. They're like sterile. They're like
it's
clinical.
So I don't want to say, oh, you need to pay this guy. I don't think they should because they are very different films.
Okay, I agree with you.
But if the Matrix has to pay Ghost in the Shell money, then Christopher Nolan needs to pay Paprika. Every cent.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's just an interesting thing at the time.
Fucking Black Swan needs to give everything they make to Perfect Blue.
Okay, I haven't seen Perfect Blue.
So. Perfect Blue is beautiful.
Okay.
It's the same. It's essentially.
I've seen Black Swan.
It's a good film.
Oh, yeah,
but
it's a good film.
If
is that Aronofsky?
Yes. If Goes in the Shell saying you need to pay us, then Christopher Nolan and Darren Aronofsky need to pay so much more.
Fair enough.
Because I see very little in between these two films.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I would reference, just quickly because I'm gonna die, is Blade Runner. Is the only thing we haven't mentioned tonight. Is one of the most archetypal moments of the dream sequence in film, and the concepts of consciousness. Again, I'll quote it again. Do androids dream of electric sheep? Is the idea of so Blade Runner was made.
Well, that entire film is based on that story.
Well, so
Do androids dream of electric? Blade Runner is based on
Do Android. Yeah, so it's based on the novel, and obviously Ghost in the Shell mimics.
By Philip K.P.
Very good. It's not obviously. So Ghost in the Shell is way more a rip-off of Blade Runner and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep than the Matrix is of Ghost in the Shell, etc. So again, to your point, I agree with you. And I was thinking about it, and the most potent for me cinematic dream consciousness sequence, Blade Runner, blew my mind. I don't know if you were blown away by Blade Runner.
It's a fucking slog to watch.
Do you think so?
I find that film so fucking difficult.
Jesus Christ, Nick, you are so opinionated, and it is incredible.
I struggle. They're like
that film. Okay, I can watch it back, and I go, yeah, it's a bit 80s and stuff, but I think it's a masterpiece. I think it might be my favourite film.
Okay, the final speech by.
He died recently. He died recently this year. Hang on, Rutger Hauer. That speech is brilliant. He had lived that, do you know?
Yes. And the entire aesthetic, I love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they invented an aesthetic.
Yeah, but that film was so fucking slow.
It is a bit slow, but it's also a masterpiece. I'm not going to let you steamroll me on this one, because what I wanted to say was the whole part of the film. Spoiler alert on Blade Runner. If you haven't seen it, it's been out for 35 years, so you can fuck off. Spoiler alert: when he dreams of the unicorn, and then we see the origami unicorn,
which isn't in the real film.
What are you talking about?
That was edited in.
I'm gonna flip this table.
Who directed it?
Ridley Scott.
I was gonna say that is from Legend. That is a deleted scene from Legend.
No, it's not.
It is. The original film had none of that. He put it in.
Are you sure?
I am 100% certain of this.
Do you pinky promise?
Like Harrison Ford.
We pinky promised.
Harrison Ford hated the idea of him being a replicant.
Right.
And Ridley Scott just put it in because he was like, "Fuck you! It's my film. I do what I want."
Well, yeah,
he's a replicant.
That's really
but the entire Harrison Ford played it as, "I'm not a replicant."
Yeah, I know he did.
Yeah, but he just put it in, and it was like, "No, he's not."
But that's what blew my mind. I was like,
what is he? No, but he wasn't. That was just something he'd be like, "Oh, I've got this footage. I'll just put it in." He's not a replicant, even though in
he is a replicant.
2049.
Yeah.
I think he is because I've not watched it because again
I don't know if he is or not. I don't think he is in that, but he basically
if he isn't,
has the first baby with a replicant.
If he isn't, that's worse.
That's the thing. Is that the reason the whole plot of 2049
it works
like,
better if he's a replicant.
I think so too. I think it works better if there was no sequel. Because the film just posits, it just gives you a big fucking question mark. It goes, what is consciousness? What is humanity? What is our conscious experience of this material plane? And we don't know. We don't know until we think we know. And we can only go so far as to think we know. And to think we know, it's a bit like Dick Cheney back in George Bush days.
For shooting people.
No, where they go, you've got the known knowns and the unknown knowns. Then you've got the known unknowns, and then you've got the unknown unknowns. Reality and consciousness.
Oh shit, the Boondocks. That's what I know. That is from the Boondocks.
All right. Well, yeah, Dick Cheney said that when we were going to war in Iraq, and it's a bit like life is like war. Consciousness is like if you're trying to understand what is real. And the way these films explore what is real and like to question whether or not something is real in order to pose that question to you, I find very fucking interesting, and that's why I thought we'd talk about it on a podcast. Whether or not we've really I don't know how much we've gained the whole thing of dream. I
think we've taken
films.
steps back, to be perfectly honest.
Maybe all of this is a dream and it never actually happened.
Blow my fucking mind.
I know. What if you're a machine and I'm a human? We're talking about films in the internet.
I'm in The Wire.
Yeah. Don't start with The Wire, mate. We're an hour and a half in. We're wrapping this up. Is that the dream film done? Do you have anything to add about the dream film?
I have nothing to add other than Paprika is better than Inception.
Paprika is better than Inception. I'm going to go and watch Ghost in the Shell and Paprika ASAP. So dreams can come true, kids. Just listen to this podcast and you'll find out why. Subscribe and donate £1 million a month to.
Do not donate.
Oh, why not?
Anything.
They could donate.
Don't donate anything.
Why?
Because I'm rich.
They haven't even. You're not rich.
I'm just thinking you're rich. I bought this microphone.
Oh, that's a good point. He owns me. He's my sugar daddy. And on that note,
yeah, I'm the sugar daddy to your. What's the other one?
Sugar baby.
Oh god, this is.
I don't want to be your. I'm not your sugar baby.
You're my sugar baby to my sugar dad.
Sugar sibling. Can we?
I'm the sugar dad to your sugar mum.
Can we be platonic?
Yeah, I can think of that. I can think of that. Platonic sugars.
In your dreams, Nick. See what I did there? Oh, and on that note, that's been the Final Cut Half Cut with me, Jason Winter.
Yeah, my fucking what?
Oh, Nick the racist. Brilliant. Thank you. Good night. Very good.